Have you ever wondered, why do some people stay quiet, even when they have a lot to say? Why do we sometimes remember one
Or why
small,
can you instantly
embarrassing
feel
moment
comfortable
for years,
around one person,
but strangely uncomfortable around another? Human behavior is full of patterns, and psychology gives us some fascinating clues about why we think, why we feel, and why we behave the way we do. Today, we're exploring 10 interesting facts about human behavior, facts that might change the way you understand yourself and the people around you. So stay until the end, because number 10 is especially interesting. And if you enjoy psychology, self-improvement, and fascinating facts about the human mind, subscribe to the channel. Let's begin. Fact number 1. People often reveal more through their behavior than through their words. Someone may say, "I'm fine," but their tone, facial expression, or body language may communicate something different. This doesn't mean we can read minds. It simply shows that communication is much more than words. Sometimes, what people don't say can be just as interesting as what they do say. Fact number 2. Your brain loves patterns. The human mind naturally looks for connections. That's why you can recognize a familiar face in a crowd, or quickly notice when something feels unusual. Your brain is constantly processing information and searching for meaning. Most of this happens without conscious effort. Fact number 3. People often remember emotional experiences more strongly than ordinary ones. Think about it. You may forget what you ate last Tuesday, but remember a moment that made you extremely happy, embarrassed, or surprised. Strong emotions can make certain experiences feel much more memorable. That's why emotional moments can stay in our minds for a very long time. Fact number 4. Silence can communicate more than you think. When someone becomes quiet, it doesn't automatically mean they are angry or upset. They might be thinking, observing, processing information, or simply choosing not to respond immediately. This is an important reminder. Never assume you completely understand someone's feelings just because they're quiet. Behavior can have many different explanations. Fact number 5. People are influenced by their environment. Your surroundings can affect your attention, your mood, and your behavior. For example, a noisy environment can make it harder to concentrate. A calm environment may make it easier to focus. This is why changing your environment can sometimes help you change your habits instead of relying only on motivation. Make your environment support the behavior you want. Fact number 6. People often notice negative information more quickly than positive information. One criticism can sometimes stay in your mind longer than several compliments. This doesn't mean people are naturally negative. It shows how strongly our attention can be influenced by important information, especially information that feels unexpected or threatening. That's why learning to focus on positive experiences can be a useful habit. Fact number 7. Your first impression can happen very quickly. When we meet someone, our brain immediately begins processing information, appearance, facial expressions, voice, body language, and the situation itself. All of these can influence our initial impression. But here's the important part. A first impression is not always accurate. Someone who seems quiet may actually be confident. Someone who seems serious may simply be tired. And someone who appears extremely confident may be nervous inside. So don't let a first impression become a final judgment. Fact number 8. People can behave differently when they know they are being watched. Imagine you're alone in your room. You may behave completely naturally, but put a camera or a large audience in front of you, and suddenly, your behavior changes. You become more conscious of your movements, your words, and even your expressions. This is one reason people sometimes behave differently in public than they do in private. Fact number 9. People often compare themselves with others. Social media has made this even easier. You see someone's success, their lifestyle, their appearance, or their achievements, and you may start comparing their highlight moments with your everyday life. But remember, you are usually seeing only a small part of another person's story. Comparison can give you useful motivation, but constant comparison can also make you forget your own progress. Focus on becoming a better version of yourself, not a copy of someone else. And now, fact number 10. One of the most fascinating things about human behavior is that we are not always fully aware of why we do what we do. Sometimes, a habit becomes automatic. Sometimes, we react emotionally before we have time to think carefully. And sometimes, we repeat the same behavior simply because it has become familiar. The good news is, awareness can create change. When you start noticing your thoughts, your habits, your reactions, and your patterns, you can begin to make more intentional choices. And that may be one of the most powerful lessons psychology can teach us. You don't have to understand everything about yourself in one day. Start by observing. Why did you react that way? Why did that situation make you uncomfortable? Why do you repeat that same habit? The more you understand your patterns, the more control you can have over your future choices. Human behavior is complicated, but that's what makes it so fascinating. If you enjoyed these 10 psychology facts, don't forget to like this video. And if you want more content about psychology, human behavior, self-improvement, and the fascinating world of the human mind, subscribe to the channel because there is always more to discover about other people, and perhaps, most importantly, about yourself.